洲精彩呈现，观众朋友大家好，欢迎收看本期的欧洲大观，我是黄杰。今天的节目都有哪些精彩看点呢？来自德国的奢侈品牌格拉苏蒂，如家一般的豪华游艇，瑞士农家乐里的大肉丸。达沃斯生产的雪橇堪称雪橇中的哈雷，坐上去十分的舒适，而且滑行速度很快，曾经一度被廉价的仿制品冲击。当地的木匠也渐渐停止了生产这种传统的雪橇。如今，在一个网络众筹活动的帮助下，这项传统的工艺慢慢复苏了。尽管雪橇售价不菲，但还是在网络销售中取得了不俗的成绩。
The town of Davos lies 1,600 meters above sea level. It has a long-standing tradition of winter sports and is the birthplace of the Davos sled. The classic model made of wood and iron is the most widely used sled in the world. Most are just cheap copies, but the original is now once again on sale in Davos.
We know it from the past. We got a bobsled for the little one because it's easier to use. But Yuri was keen to try the Davos sled.
Das ist wie mit einer
It's
Harley
like a
Davidson
snow
auf dem
Harley
Schnee,
Davidson.
oder? Das
It's comfortable
ist
yet fast.
gemütlich und trotzdem schnell.
The first Davos sled, based on lighter models from Norway, was built here some 150 years ago. After the patents ran out, hundreds of thousands of cheap copies were produced abroad. The carpenters in Davos couldn't compete with their prices and ceased production in the 1960s.
Die Davoser Schlitten wurden nachher dann
Davos
sogar in
sleds were even
Ostdeutschland
made in communist East
und es
Germany.
gab dann eigentlich noch eine
There were
Schlittenfabrik
only
in der
one or
Schweiz,
two
eine oder
factories
zwei
in
Schlittenfabriken
Switzerland
in der
that still
Schweiz,
produced the
die,
Davos sleds on an
industriell
industrial
hergestellte
scale.
Davoser Schlitten machten, aber natürlich
But obviously in a
auf
very
eine
basic
einfache
form
Art
and at a
und
low consumer
auch preislich
price.
natürlich noch zum Vorteil des Kunden.
So it wasn't the real
Aber,
Davos sled.
es ist natürlich
Anyway, a real
nicht der
Davos sled
wirkliche
has to
Davoser
come from
Schlitten.
Davos.
Der wirkliche Davoser Schlitten, denke ich, muss aus Davos kommen.
Paul Alduza runs a carpentry business in Davos. It's a family firm in its third generation. Last year, he was commissioned by the Tourism Association to build a sled for an advertising campaign. That's when he decided it was time to bring this traditional craft back home. With the help of an online crowdfunding campaign, he decided to offer an alternative to the inferior quality mass-produced sled. To make it worth buying all the materials, he wanted to sell 20 sleds in advance online.
Ich hatte die 20 zum Ziel gesetzt, aber
I set myself a
wenn wir
goal
die
of selling
bekommen in
20
diesen
sleds in
100
100 days.
dann können wir
And
mehr
thought if I
zufrieden
manage
sein.
that, I can be more than
Und,
satisfied.
nach 100 Tagen waren es
After
dann
100 days, we'd
65
sold
und
65, and now we're up to over 110. We've actually been a bit overwhelmed by the whole thing.
Und, wir wurden eigentlich ein bisschen überrannt von der ganzen Sache.
All his materials come from Switzerland, including the solid ash wood. There are 1,000 individual steps involved in making the sleds, and 7 hours of labor. The 5 wooden slats that form the seat are a trademark characteristic of the Davos sled.
Auch noch ein Merkmal ist
Another feature
dieses
is this reinforcement
Verstärkungseisen.
strip,
Das hat
which
der
was added by
Erfinder
the
des
sled's
Davoser
designer to
Schlitten hat das dann
stabilize and
eigentlich
reinforce the
gemacht,
entire sled.
den ganzen Schlitten zu stabilisieren und zu verstärken.
The Winter Sport Museum in Davos gives an insight into the long-standing tradition of this local craft. The sleds were originally designed for transporting loads, as the blades glide easily across the snow. It was foreign tourists who began using the sleds for fun and sport. Paul Alduza's sleds are put together with screws and bolts, as in the past. No cheap glue here. The sleds are available in 2 sizes and can also be personalized for the customer. Prices start at €600 a piece. But the original Davos sled comes with a lifelong guarantee.
So, fertig. Der Davoser Schlitten soll eigentlich
The Davos sled is meant to be like a clock that gets passed on from one generation to the next. So you buy a sled for your grandchild who uses it and then later passes it on to his children. That's the tradition we want to revive. I'd be happy for it to be an heirloom, a piece of living history in the family.
For the first time in more than 5 decades, the original Davos sled is once again hitting the slopes in the mountains around Davos.
艺术家蒂姆从小就酷爱绘画，他的作品里有着异乎寻常的丰富细节，并且处处散发着超现实主义的气息。3年前，他突发奇想，将自己的绘画过程用短视频的形式呈现给众人。仅仅使用了透视法产生的光学错觉，他便用影像很好地诠释了他的工作，并且还在视频网站上获得了几百万的点击量。
Around 1,000 photos compressed into just 3 minutes. Dutch artist Tamer Mark spent close to 3 years working on his short film, I Paint.
A lot of people were asking me, what is it, what you do, what's your profession? And I try to explain that I paint. And well, that brought me to the idea of making a video that explains in visuals what I do instead of just words. And well, that's how it all unfolded.
He posted I Paint on YouTube back in 2012. It went viral and garnered millions of views. The time-lapse video is comprised of individual photos that Tamer took of himself by remote control. He made them into a film without using any digital effects, producing optical illusions through the use of perspective alone. At times, it took several days to compose a single frame. Now, I Paint has been viewed close to 100 million times. In spite of its success, the artist isn't planning a follow-up anytime soon. Tamer came to painting almost by chance.
I always been drawing as a little boy, and when I was on the design academy, a classmate invited me to paint something. She said, well, you can draw better, I can paint better. So I took the challenge, and well, that was for me the first time I really made a painting, and I immediately fell in love with the process. And the day after I made another painting, and the week after I quit school and moved back to my parents to start painting and start my business as a painter.
Tamer's paintings are rich in detail, and many exude an almost surrealist quality. Some of his works are months in the making, while others are finished in a matter of hours. But they all have a story to tell, even if that's not always evident at first glance.
Try to make paintings in which the viewers can create meaning for themselves. Give them some handles and create a world for themselves. Every viewer would have a different idea about the same painting, so that's something that's very, very valuable for me.
His studio in France is located in the ruins of an old factory in the countryside. The artist finds creative inspiration by going for walks. Tamer has always felt close to nature.
I grew up in the countryside in Holland, in the polder side with the windmills and stuff, so I always been close to nature, and well, me and my family have moved here to France, where we're still in the middle of nature, and well, it's a big part of me, and it inspires me to do my paintings, and yeah, it made me who I am.
Tamer paints with acrylics and usually starts with a rough idea in mind. The work only really takes shape once he picks up his brush. Sometimes he captures this creative process on film.
Every now and then it's nice to capture a process, because, well, when you look back at it, It's part of the magic just to see it all unfold. When I'm painting, I'm very much into the painting itself, but with the video I can view it from a distance. So.
The artist hasn't ruled out making a sequel to I Paint. But even if he doesn't, his magical works are sure to feature on the internet for years to come. Because Tamer Mart knows he will never stop pursuing his passion for painting.
德国东部的格拉苏蒂小镇是世界著名的钟表制造基地，这里有着优秀制表传统，100年来一直盛产各类奢侈昂贵的钟表。德国人一丝不苟的精神，在格拉苏蒂出产的钟表上体现得淋漓尽致。精准的走时和先进的制造工艺，使得格拉苏蒂完全能够媲美瑞士钟表的顶级品牌。
You could say time is of the essence in the tiny town of Glashütte in the Ore Mountain region. Glashütte is a center of eastern Germany's watchmaking industry. Timepieces have been made here since the mid-19th century.
I like wearing a watch, just to keep up the tradition. And if your cell phone doesn't work, your watch keeps ticking. Oh, it feels good to have a watch. I like telling time with a real watch.
10 watchmaking firms are based in Glashütte. Many of them have customers all over the world, like Nomos, Lange & Söhne, and the Glashütte Original, which has 600 employees at its headquarters here.
I'm putting in the balance wheel now. The balance is the heart of the watch, and it's something very special when you can see the heart of a watch starting to beat.
Depending on the model, it can take between a few hours and several weeks to assemble a watch. Despite the popularity of quartz timepieces, mechanical watches and clocks are becoming trendy again. And watchmakers like Jessica Taut love this intricate work.
You have to be very patient. You have to be willing to keep learning new things. And you need to love what we do here. This quest for perfection.
That quest began here 170 years ago with precision pocket watches. Watch production continued during the communist era in East Germany. Today, Glashütte Original is constantly developing new models and makes all its own parts. The watches sell for up to several €100,000. One of the more unusual models is this watch for world travelers.
The main priority was to make it easy to read. The 2 time zones can be read simultaneously. And you can set the time zones by turning the crown here on the bottom right, and then setting the IATA airport code of the country you're traveling to.
The Watch Museum in Glashütte is a big draw for history buffs. The first watch factory was founded here in 1845 by Ferdinand Adolf Lange. An astronomical clock, which was completed in 1925, is a unique specimen.
Insgesamt sind über 1700 Teile hinter There are more than 1,700 parts all told behind the 17 clock faces.
10 in 17 Zifferblätter.
There are thought to be just 3 to 5 editions of this clock worldwide, and in terms of precision and perfection, our clock is probably unique.
Reinhard Reichel knows the story behind each timepiece, including those from the communist era. In 1951, all the companies were nationalized and merged into the Glashütte Watch Enterprises, or GUB.
Of course, the GUB had to operate according to a different philosophy, away from luxury watches, and instead produce watches that were long-lasting, robust, precise, and affordable. The legendary East German watch was a men's wristwatch with an automatic winding mechanism that was called Spezimatic.
Throughout their history, the Glashütte companies have placed an emphasis on training. A watchmaker school was founded early on. Here, young people can still learn how to put together a watch.
We learn all these new terms and the way it's built up. In the beginning, it's pretty complicated, and the parts are so small, but you get used to it.
The apprenticeship positions are in high demand. The trainees also learn how the individual watch parts are made.
It's kind of old school, you could say, rather than always looking at your phone. For example, say you're out in a restaurant and you keep looking at your phone. I think it's pretty rude. It's better to look at your elegant watch.
In Dresden, the capital of the state of Saxony, the big watchmaking firms like Glashütte Original have upmarket boutiques. Nowadays, the brand is exported around the world. But for these customers, the watches from Glashütte are a piece of family history.
My entire family wore Glashütte watches. I saw the first one as a child. It was worn by my great-uncle. It's the one I'm wearing. It was handed down to me by my father.
One of the employees in the boutique is Chinese. She can deal with customers from Asia, where the watches from tiny Glashütte in the Ore Mountains are very popular.
柏林和波茨坦之间的哈维尔河风景秀丽，一直都深受周边游客的喜爱。千帆点点之中，温德勒的私家游艇特别引人注目。这是一个安在河中央的家，各种现代化的家居设施应有尽有，无敌水景也唾手可得。船顶还有一个大露台，温德勒常常和朋友们在这里举办烧烤派对，众人把酒言欢，好不惬意啊！
The Havel River between Berlin and Potsdam is a popular destination with day trippers. Howard Findler's houseboat is an eye-catcher, and not just because of its modern design.
It is something out of the ordinary. It provides a unique kind of lifestyle. You can really chill out here, and you always feel like you're on vacation. Even if you arrive home stressed out, you soon start to feel relaxed.
A physiotherapist by profession, Harald knows all about the need to relax.
Welcome to my houseboat.
The pared-down interior lends the rooms a spacious feel and blends well with the natural surroundings. Floor-to-ceiling windows provide excellent views of the outdoor scenery. Guests can sleep on this couch. The kitchen includes a microwave, dishwasher, and modern stove. The houseboat has a processing unit for drinking water, as well as its own generator. It might only be 5 square meters in size, but the bathroom seems spacious. There's even a small sauna, a cozy feature for cold winter days.
I wanted all the mod cons you have in a flat or a normal house. I didn't want to give up anything, and that is why I had my houseboat built this way.
Harald's favorite spot is the bedroom at the stern of the vessel. He can take a quick morning dip to start the day. The sofa bed is easily opened up here, and the windows can be darkened. Space is used to a maximum.
Space is of course limited on a houseboat, and that is one of the few drawbacks. I can store some of my things in the closet. And there are other storage facilities in the hull. Here I have a great view. These windows have double glazing, so it doesn't get cold in winter.
The 50 square meter living area has underfloor heating, and the boat also features a generous 60 square meter rooftop terrace.
Für mich war es immer sehr wichtig,
It was important for me to have plenty of space, to be able to dine out on the roof terrace, as well as have a lounge and a pool, which, by the way, is heated.
But if he feels like a cool, refreshing dip, he doesn't have to go far. The houseboat was built in Dresden at a cost of 400,000 euros and then shipped to Berlin. But that wasn't the only obstacle Harold had to overcome.
The toughest challenge for a houseboat owner is to find a mooring. They are in short supply in Berlin and almost impossible to come by right now.
Harold has found one, but he'd much rather be anchored in the middle of the river. Friends can use the dinghy when they visit. The terrace is the perfect place for a barbecue on warm summer evenings.
I really enjoy being on board this boat. Whatever the weather, it's simply perfect.
Time to raise their glasses to the host.
Dankeschön, Harald, dass wir hier sein dürfen. Dankeschön, sehr gerne.
Harold Windler's floating home is the perfect place to get away from the hustle and bustle of life on land in the city.
每逢节假日，城里人呢总爱到周边乡村去寻找一些原始且淳朴的快乐。在瑞士这个美丽的国度也不例外。这里的乡村除了秀美的景色，农场里还饲养着大量散养的牛，牛儿们悠然自得地品尝着大自然中最肥美的仙草，因此牛肉的质量极佳。当地人特别喜欢用传统手艺将这种牛肉做成味道十分可口的牛肉丸子。
Farmers live differently from city people. They are closely connected to animals and nature and mainly eat food they've produced themselves. Now vacationers in Switzerland can get to know this life. As part of the initiative Swiss Tavolata, more than 40 farmers offer regional cuisine at home. One of the hosts is Melanie Ramser.
I want people to come here and experience farm life, to see where the vegetables grow and where the meat comes from.
The Ramser family has 30 cows. The cattle are raised as naturally as possible, and that makes the quality of their meat especially high.
The animals eat fresh grass and hay throughout the day. They're in the stall now, but the animals can move around freely and they grow slowly. That's decisive for the quality of the meat.
Melanie uses beef from her own animals to make Hacktätschli, meatballs served with herb sauce. She'll make a side dish of zucchini, mangold, and potatoes, all homegrown. Authentic Swiss food for her guests.
The meatballs are typical of Switzerland. It's easy to follow the recipe, and both children and adults love them.
Wash some oregano and chives and chop them finely. Season the meat with paprika and salt and knead it until it's well mixed.
The trick here is to knead the mass well. If your meat's of good quality, you don't have to add flour or breadcrumbs. And fresh herbs give the meatballs a scrumptious flavor.
Form the meat into little balls. Sauté them till golden brown at medium heat, then remove them from the pan. In another pan, mix oregano pesto, celery paste, and white wine and simmer briefly. Add the garlic and meatballs.
It's important to reserve the oil because fat is what transports flavors.
Just add a little water or milk if the sauce gets too thick. Prepare the side dish while the meatballs are cooking. Use the oil from the meatballs to brown the potatoes. Season the chopped mangold and steam it. Cut the zucchini into thick slices and fry it. After 30 minutes, the meatballs are ready. Season with pepper to taste. The whole meal takes a good hour to prepare. Melanie Ramser serves dinner in a granary built in 1782. A colorful salad is the appetizer. Then come the Hacktätschli. Delicious food in rural surroundings isn't all that attracts visitors to the Swiss countryside. Here they can also take a break from the hustle and bustle of urban life.
Gesundheit. 摄影师戈茨曼是一位无人机爱好者，他喜欢用无人机上帝般的视角来俯瞰他生活的这片大地。无论是德国南部郁郁葱葱的山区，还是北部工业区的露天大煤矿，这在普通人的眼睛里都是难得一见的照片。如今，借助先进的无人机技术，在变换了角度后，人们往往会惊叹他们早已习惯的景色。
Whether a lush mountainous region in southern Germany or an open-pit coal mine in North Rhine-Westphalia, or the rapeseed oil fields in northern Germany, these are pictures that you won't see often. They were taken by photographer André Götzmann.
I can't capture the true beauty of a landscape from the ground because I don't have the proper perspective. You don't have to fly very high, maybe just a few meters, just over the treetops. That's where I find the perspective I want.
Today, Götzmann will be filming the monument that commemorates Napoleon's defeat at the Battle of Leipzig in 1813. It's cloudy today, but he managed to get some good shots. Still, decent weather conditions are essential for any successful airborne photo shoot.
It's easy to shoot when the sun's out and there's no wind, but you've got to know how to fly when it's windy. Gusty winds are a problem. I can handle wind speeds of up to 80 kilometers an hour, depending on the landscape. Anything more than that, even retrieving the drone starts to get tricky.
The drone is now cruising over the rooftops of Leipzig. Götzmann steers the craft over the city's park. He can follow the flight on his display screen. The batteries will last for only 15 minutes, so he has to work fast. But before every flight, Götzmann has to get written permission from each German state where he wants to fly. He also has to get permission from private citizens to fly over their property. But he says the effort is worth it.
I was around Lake Constance recently, and it reminded me what a wonderful Christian Baroque region it is. Every other town seems to have a huge monastery. There's so much history there. I thought I knew the region pretty well, but I was quite amazed by what I saw.
Heiner Müller-Elsner is another photographer who works with drones. He specializes in shots of statues and sculptures taken at eye level, so you can view them from a brand new angle. For some people, drones are just another high-tech toy. This is a drone competition in Berlin. But André Götzmann prefers to focus on the aesthetic aspects of drone flight. He particularly likes shooting farming and industrial areas, like this potash mine in the state of Lower Saxony.
I fly the drone over a cornfield during the harvest, and you can see the furrows. If I shoot straight down from a normal perspective, sometimes I see graphic structures that remind me of certain paintings.
《时尚欧洲》精彩呈现，感谢您收看本期的欧洲大观，我是黄杰，下期同一时间我们再见。